Okay, now I want to look at two examples of rook pawn endings, or rook and pawn endings. So in this case, it is, or in this puzzle, it is a white to move and draw. And for a change, instead of having white always having the pawn on the top of the board, we'll make it the black having the pawn moving towards the bottom of the board. But you can easily switch this around. So obviously black is threatening checkmate, and white really only has three real moves. It can move, the king to here, it can move the king to here, it can move the rook down to here. So let's look at these in order. So I'll eliminate one at a time. Maybe, what do you think is the right move? So hit the pause button. Well, here's not one of the moves to make. Rook to f1 leads to rook to a2, and then mate follows with the rook down here. So definitely not. The other move not to do is king to d1, because black will check on h1, king to c2, and then the king moves up to e2. And black will eventually promote this pawn. So the move that white should make is king to f1, where black will check, king to g2, the rook comes to e2, then the last move was rook to e1. Going to help support the pawn as it moves forward. Rook to a8. White plans on checking from the side. Rook to d1 to block the checks. And then the rook goes back to e8. Obviously the king cannot move forward, and really black can make no progress. So that is the end of that puzzle. And you saw examples of this in the previous lecture. So let me set up the next example. Okay, this position is white to move and to win. And actually what white is trying to achieve is a Lucena position. It starts off by rook, the move, or the winning move for white is rook to a7, threatening checkmate on rook to a8. So the king has to go over, and now the rook will check, and the king will go into the corner, and then rook to b1. So we sort of achieved basically separating the black king from the action. Now we just have to get the white king up to d8, sort of get that Lucena position where the king is here and the pawn is here. So black, what is black to do? Well, really doesn't have anything better to do than checking the king. The king comes up, the rook comes down. As you can see, we've almost achieved the position. And now the king will go to e7. This can get out of the way of the pawn. Check, king to d8, rook to d2, and then the rook to d7, and then rook to e2. We have effectively a Lucena position right now. And then just to continue it out is, the solution to the Lucena position is rook to b4, king a7, nothing better else to do. Could also shift the rook, can move the rook up and down this line here, like rook to e1 or rook to e3 or something. King to c7, and now black the only thing left to do is to check the king. rook to c2 check, king to d6, rook to d2 check, rook to king to c6, rook to c2 check, king to d5, and then depending on your option for black, rook to d2, then rook to d4, blocking, sort of bridging, and then there's no way for black to stop the promotion of the pawn. So that does it for those two puzzles, and that does it for lecture number 10.